Hello. Here is a tour of our cabin here in the mountains of Texas. Here is my sleeping area. The bed I made myself out of about 16 pillows that bed pillows that weren't working, weren't too fluffy. So I folded them all in half and stuffed them in a sheet and covered the sheet with the sheet with more blankets, with two blankets, and then I covered that with another sheet. And but this is the finished product. It's 18 pillows on a platform on top of about, let's see, two, four, six, eight, about 8 to 10 milk crates that I use for storage. I think it turned out pretty good. It's really rather comfortable, and it's the perfect size for me because a standard twin size bed would have taken up a lot more space than the bed I crafted for specifically for my sleeping area. And here's my desk that I do everything. I work, do my makeup, and these shelves. Now I wanted to get something a little more stylish, and we plan on getting something more stylish very soon. But at the time when we bought these shelves, we really we weren't able to travel back and forth to Alpine, Texas, which is 60 miles from us. So I got these real quick off the shelf at Shopco. We had well, we no longer have the store, but I bought these shelves. I bought about 3 different sets. They make 3 shelves all together. I mission maximized, as you see. Over here is my bathroom area. It's just a slither of the space, but I love it. I love it because it's very functional. Let me turn the light on. Hopefully that helps a little bit. It's only 2 feet by 3 feet, so it's only 6 square feet, but it has everything I need, and I just love it. It's I decorated it a little bit. We have the mirror, we have light, we have electrical outlets over here. And the most important thing these days is having an electrical outlet. I can charge whatever I want in this tiny little corner. I have my loafer. This stool is basically just here because it needed a place to stay. And here I got, this is a wash vase. Um, I believe it's actually antique, and I got it at a thrift store. But it's really nice. You can do I call them bird bath, but you can bathe here in this little corner. Have all the toiletries and cosmetics, towels, soap, everything you need for bathing, freshening up. Of course, we have the composting toilet, and the space here is so small that I have to pull the toilet out from underneath the shelf to use it. But like I say, once again, it works. The thing that I love about the whole cabin is that it's ours. It's ours outright. We're not buried under bills and everything. We have to haul water in, and right now we don't have running water, but that can be obtained through gutters and putting together a system. I actually built this shelf, and it's very primitive, but that was my first try, and I just like it. Without the paint is very horrible, but you know you put a couple of pieces of wood together and slap some paint on it, you know, it's probably not going to turn out too bad. But that's it. This is my bathroom, my restroom area here. Now we also have a bathhouse. So when we want to take a full bath, we just go 20 feet away from the cabin into our bathhouse. And I plan on doing a video about that later. Up here is where we hang a little mini tub. So when we're inside the cabin doing pedicures or taking a mini bath or facials, whatever we're doing, once we're finished with the little mini tub, we can hang it up here. Now, when we bought this cabin, I was under the impression that it was 24 feet by 12 feet. And it's 24 feet by 12 feet, but I didn't know that included the front porch. So actually on the inside, we only have 20 feet by 12 feet of space. And here is my kitchen. And well, without the other 48 square feet, I had to really get creative. So we hang out pots and pans, basically from the ceiling. There you go. And this is our kitchen area. I got this 7-foot the 7-foot kitchen counter from a thrift store for $80. That was a great deal. And it's very sturdy and it looks very nice. And at first I didn't like this big gap that came with it. At first, you know, I was like, oh, I don't like that. You know, it just empty space. But I wasn't gonna pass it up for $80. You know, it has 3 cabinets. It's actually granite countertop, and it came with 2 hoods, but I only used one. And I used center blocks to lift it up from the counter, so I have more room for my spices and my butane stove. But I really turned out to like this empty space here because I turned this into a pantry. And this is where I store my canned goods mostly, and different little things, garbage bags, paper towels. But yeah, it really turned out to be really nice to have the gap, because I was able to create the pantry inside the kitchen counter without taking up any more space inside the cabin, because we really didn't have any space to spare. Because the way we use the cabin, I have my sleep area and my son have his sleep area, and then I have my bathroom area and he has his bathroom area. So that's like more than half the cabin right there. And this is our refrigerator. It's a small refrigerator. I wanted to didn't want to get anything that was going to pull on our solar system too much. So that's why I opted for this size. And I didn't want to put it on the floor because I don't want to have to bend down and, you know, get on the floor to go inside the refrigerator. So it sits on top of the kitchen countertop. And here's a storage unit. And this is part of a storage unit that I took apart. It was actually a wardrobe. And but the wardrobe let the clothes hung very low. And with the clothes hanging low, this is my son's hanging closet. And with the clothes hanging very low, I wouldn't have been able to create this little sitting area. Right here. This little sitting area here, or our little nook where we keep books, toys, DVDs. Mostly our DVDs and books. So I took some bones from a tent. We used to have a 10-man tent, but the Texas sun and the mountain winds destroyed it. but I took the bones from the tent and drilled through the studs in the cabin and built my son's hanging closet. This is my son's over here is antique television. They play VHS tapes. And my son, he likes it. He likes it. Here, let's see. Put things in this place over here. Okay. Over here is my son's restroom area. Now he actually has a urinal and a composting toilet. This is also where part of our solar system is. And there's a bowl for just washing his face and hands, brushing his teeth. Behind here, we have some of the electrical system behind these scars here that I plan on doing something with. Yes, that's his bathroom area here. I also use the urinal for dishwashing. I mean, for throwing dishwashing liquid out, the dishwater out. And this urinal goes across the driveway and into the, well, beyond the driveway, about 40 feet from the cabin. And so it's just a simple drain out. This way I don't have to pour water, take water outside the door and pour it out every time we have some water. And that's my son, Shelby. Shelby, you want to say hi? Okay. And this is a sleeping area. It's not, okay, that's our poster of The Walking Dead that we're going to have to get another one. It's getting pretty tattered. This is my son's sleeping area. His bed is a bit of a mess. Let's see. Leg down, leg down, leg down, leg down. And also to save space, we hang everything from the ceiling, everything we can. There's his flat screen television hanging from the ceiling here. Over here is my closet, my hanging closet, where I store a few things on top. And I also have a nice little pocket over here where I can store towels and linen underneath at the bottom part of my hanging closet. That worked out pretty good. This is our evaporator cooler that we use during the summer. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention our space. Inside our space is 240 feet. So it's a nice size space. But as I was trying to explain earlier, the way we use it, it makes it smaller. We can only do, we only have enough room for so much because we both have to have our own separate space. So my son, he has his sleeping area, which is there. And that's my handsome son, Shelby. And then he has his bathroom area behind his television. Then we have a little sitting nook for our DVDs and books and games, the shelving unit here. Then over here we have our kitchen. There's and over in this corner once again is my bathroom area. And over here is my side of the shelf. I found this shelf in the dirt at a cabinetry store, a place that makes kitchen cabinets and the manager explained to me that I couldn't afford anything that they make, because they make everything custom, and everything is very expensive. And at the time we had no furniture, and the furniture that we needed had to be sturdy, because I knew that by creating a tiny house, I needed furniture that could sustain my weight and sustain my son's weight. Because when you're in a tiny house, you're standing on top of furniture, you're sitting, you're standing, everything in here can support 200 pounds or more. Every piece of furniture in here, except for my little office desk. But this shelf, this is a double shelving, and so it was in the dirt. It was at the cabinetry place manufacturer, and I asked him. I said, "Well, how much you want for that?" And he said $50. And I think he, you know, thought that he had no idea that I actually wanted it. I mean, it was dirty. It had all kind of tools, dirty tools loaded up on it, and but I saw how sturdy it was, and I knew that it, once I clamped it up and fixed it up a little bit, that it would be perfect for our cabin. So I paid the $50, and he actually included delivery, so that worked out really nice. So yeah, so Shelby has his side, and I have my side of our things that we like to have left out. This is the other side of my hanging closet, with the I'm showing a little bit of the towels and linen that I store at the bottom. And let's see here. This is the ladder leading to our loft. Let me turn the light on. So this is the ladder leading to the loft. This curtain here is what I use as a vanity curtain. This is just a sheer curtain that I found at a thrift store, and I just, if I'm laying down and I just want to be covered up more, I just lay that, just pull this down over the bed and myself, use it as a veil. And here's the ladder going to the loft. We have two lofts. This is the back loft. And I'm also in the process of insulating the cabin. Right now, I'm about 80% finished with the roof or the ceiling, and I plan on doing a video about that too. And I have some tips and tricks that I created along the way. But yeah, but I hope to finish insulating the whole cabin before it gets real cold. These are Mr. Heaters, the portable heaters that we use when it gets, during the winter months. It does get cold in Texas, particularly at night during the winter. It could be 15 degrees at night and make it to 90 degrees during the day. But at night is when you really have to be concerned, because it does get cold. A lot of people don't realize that unless they've actually lived here in Texas. But we use these propane heaters, and they work very well. The thing I recommend with these, especially now that we're insulating this year, we won't be using them as much because we'll be the cabin will be retaining more of its heat. But one thing I recommend with the Mr. Heaters, or any kind of space heater, is just to use them to knock the chill off. Don't use, I don't recommend that you would use these. And Shelby, here's one on Shelby's end too, in case you missed it. I don't recommend using these to have on all day and all night. If you have a relatively small space, and which is this is what I recommend these space heaters for. You know, is when you have a small space to warm it up, then turn the heater off. And that's how we do. And then you also save. And then it doesn't usually doesn't take that much to heat a small space anyway. So like even if you have a big house, these space heaters are just for like to be used in one room. They're not to be used. You're not trying to heat up the whole house, but they're really great for a small, tiny house. I have one on my end, and as you see, Shelby has one on his end, and I just use them to knock the chill off. And as soon as you know it gets, as soon as the cabin becomes the temperature that we're comfortable once again, I turn them off, and then we don't particularly need them during the day. Usually I turn them on at night for a couple of hours and then turn them off. But yes, that's our tiny house. It's 240 feet. I bought the building. Oh, here's my flat screen television. I put that cardboard behind it, trying to muzzle the sound from traveling to Shelby's end of the cabin. And that's the back half of our loft. And here's the front. But yeah, and so we have the front porch. I haven't really done much with the front porch. I can't do as much decoration as I would like because we live in a remote area, so we have to use the space mostly for storage, storing supplies, storing food and water. This is my sleeping area, my shelf, and I didn't want to insulate initially because I like the look of the wood and the studs, and as you see, I made shelves out in between the studs, but I realized, over the past couple of years that the temperatures here in Texas are too extreme not to insulate. So I'm still going to be able to have some of the shelving in between the studs because I'm not coming all the way out with all the insulation and all the paneling. Some of the paneling is going to cover the entire wall, but in some little spaces I'm going to keep some of the shelves. Like here, I won't have the as much. It won't be as deep, but it still will be about 3 inches of shelf left once I'm done with the installation and the paneling. But yeah, but we're going to save a lot of money on heating and cooling our cabin, in years to come, because with the installation and the installation and the paddling, the panels. But yes, because it's been quite expensive, more expensive than it needs to be, without insulating. And once we're finished insulating, I'm sure that, instead of spending $125 a month on propane to run our propane heaters, we're probably going to cut that in half. I'm very sure, I can tell already, even with just having finished the ceiling, that the cost is going to go down significantly. And I'll just give you a peep of the front porch before I end this video. This is I created a little bit of a foray as you come in with the shelves. That's our front door, and usually the curtains are closed. So this is these curtains I got off of eBay. It's a picture of New York City, skyrise, skyscrapers. And then the shelves here, it kind of creates a little bit of a foray. So when you come in the front door, the first thing you see is not my sleeping area. So you know, I have a little bit of a barrier in between there. And we're not finished. I mean, it's some different things. I mean, I love the cabin. I love, like I said, I consider it like a more of a utility cabin because we have to focus more on keeping it well stocked because the we don't have a store within 20 miles of us. So you don't want to run out of anything while you're here. But I'm gonna give you just a little bit of a look of the front porch. Like I say, I used the front porch. I wanted to make sort of like a terrace out of it. It's getting dark and pretty windy tonight. But right now I haven't gotten to actually focusing on the front porch right now, but I want to dress it up a little bit. But even afterwards, it still would probably primarily be for storage. I'll probably go vertical, try to get some vertical storage out here. And I would like to have some seating. But right now, we just store water. As you see, this is a little stool I put together. But we store water, soda. That's another nice thing about the winter. You can store your soda outside. Always have you something cold to drink, store your juice and everything out here. We also keep our propane out here. But yeah, but what I would like to do is to, if I manage to get everything or some of the things off of the floor, and go vertical and have a bench, you know, like a wraparound bench, and have a little table in the middle. And over there, if you can see, that's our bathhouse. And our bathhouse is 8 feet by 12, 8 by 12 feet. And I'd like to do a video about that soon too. Okay, thank you guys.